Welcome to Stories of HFY, your ultimate destination for thrills, adventure, and entertainment. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell to join us on this epic journey. Let's create unforgettable moments together. The savannah stretched endlessly, a golden sea of swaying grass under a sky painted with fiery hues of orange and red. The air was thick with tension, the acrid scent of smoke mingling with the earthy aroma of the land. Amidst this backdrop, a solitary figure moved with deliberate purpose. She was Athena, a warrior forged in the crucible of countless battles. Her tactical suit clung to her like a second skin, every piece of equipment meticulously placed for both function and survival. By her side walked a lion, its mane a crown of blazing gold, its amber eyes burning with an intelligence that spoke of a bond far deeper than mere companionship. Athena and the lion, whom she called Kale, had been through hell together. Years ago, their paths had crossed in the most unlikely of circumstances. Athena had been on a mission deep in the heart of enemy territory, her unit ambushed and decimated by rogue warlords wielding experimental weapons. She had been left for dead, bleeding out in the wilderness when Kale appeared. The lion, a king of his domain, had approached with cautious curiosity. Perhaps it was her defiance in the face of death or the faint, shared understanding of survival against all odds, but Kale had stood guard through the night, warding off scavengers. From that moment, they were bound by an unspoken pact. Now they moved as one. The savannah was no longer just a battlefield but their home, a place they both defended against the encroaching tide of destruction wrought by man's insatiable hunger for power. In the distance, the smoke of a recent skirmish curled into the heavens, a stark reminder of the forces they opposed. The armored vehicles, advanced machines bristling with weapons, lay smoldering husks, their operators scattered or vanquished. Athena's lips pressed into a thin line. These were not the tools of mere poachers or raiders. They belonged to the Shadow Syndicate, a clandestine organization that sought to strip the savannah of its resources, enslaving its people and eradicating its wildlife in the process. The syndicate was relentless, their operations spreading like a cancer across the continent. Athena's fight against them had begun as a personal vendetta but had grown into a cause that rallied villages and factions to her side. She had become a symbol of resistance, the warrior with a lion's heart, literally and metaphorically. Kale was her strength, her unwavering ally who fought alongside her with a ferocity that could not be matched. Together they had turned the tide of many battles, their legend growing with each victory. But this was no time for rest. The Syndicate's latest push had been devastating, their advanced technology granting them an edge that even Athena's tactical brilliance struggled to counter. Reports from scattered informants spoke of a new weapon, a device capable of turning entire ecosystems into barren wastelands within hours. If unleashed, it would spell doom for the savannah and everything within it. Athena knew she had to act, but the path ahead was fraught with peril. Kale's low growl snapped her from her thoughts. His gaze was fixed on the horizon, where the silhouette of a massive convoy came into view. Dozens of vehicles bristling with armaments rolled forward like an unstoppable tide, their engines a distant rumble that resonated in her chest. At their center was a transport carrying something heavily secured, flanked by syndicate operatives in exoskeletal armor. Athena's pulse quickened. This had to be the weapon. Without hesitation, she signaled Kale, and they moved toward the convoy, their steps silent but purposeful. The savannah provided little in the way of cover, but Athena had long since mastered the art of blending into her surroundings. She and Kale became shadows, their movements synchronized as if choreographed by the land itself. As they closed the distance, the details of the convoy became clearer. The transport was a fortress on wheels, its armored plating impervious to conventional weaponry. Taking it down would require strategy and precision, and a little chaos. Athena drew a small device from her belt, a compact but powerful EMP grenade. It wouldn't disable the entire convoy, but it could create a window of opportunity. She whispered to Kale, and the lion sprang into action, a blur of golden fur that darted into the tall grass. He would circle around, creating a diversion while she positioned herself for the strike. Moments later, a series of roars and screams erupted as Kale launched his attack, his sheer presence throwing the convoy into disarray. Syndicate soldiers scrambled to respond, their movements chaotic as they tried to locate the source of the disturbance. Athena seized the moment. She darted toward the convoy, her lithe form a ghost against the backdrop of smoke and fire. With practiced ease, she slipped past the outer guards, her EMP grenade finding its mark on the transport's rear axle. The explosion was silent but effective, the vehicle grinding to a halt as its system short-circuited. Chaos erupted as Syndicate forces regrouped, their attention divided between Kale and the disabled transport. But Athena's fight was far from over. As she engaged the soldiers, her movements a blur of martial precision, she realized the weapon was not just a device but a being. A child, no older than 10, with eyes that glowed an unnatural blue. The Syndicate had found a way to harness human potential, turning innocence into destruction. Athena's resolve hardened. This was no longer just a mission. It was a rescue. With Kale by her side, she fought her way to the child, dismantling the Syndicate's forces with ruthless efficiency. The savannah became their battlefield, a place where nature itself seemed to rise in rebellion against the invaders. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the land in shades of deep crimson, Athena and Kale stood victorious. The convoy lay in ruins, the Syndicate's forces scattered to the winds. Athena knelt before the child, her voice soft yet firm as she promised safety. Kale stood close, his presence a shield of warmth and strength. Together they would protect this child and ensure that the Syndicate's plans were thwarted. The savannah, scarred but unbroken, bore witness to their vow. And as the first stars pierced the night sky, Athena and Kale set off into the unknown, their fight far from over but their spirits unyielding.